Hey everybody, it's Miss Hughes and I'm back with our second video for today. Today we're going to, in this video, we're going to actually be converting some measurements. So before we do that, you can see that I've written my acronym down. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And for today, we're going to be focusing on length. So our unit of length in the metric system is meters. So that is our unit of measurement for length. I've also recorded on our page just to remind you of the abbreviations for each one of our units of measurement in the metric system. If you have not watched the first video that was posted on the lesson plans today, you need to stop this video and go back to that video. That would give you a lot of background information about this acronym and about the metric system. And it's really important that you watch that video first. So let's get started. You're going to need some scrap paper to work out the problems with me, or your math journal. So go ahead and grab that while I'm getting set up. All right. So if you remember in the previous video, I demonstrated for you that this acronym, King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, are our units of measurement for the metric system. And I'm going to remind you that when you're starting at the beginning of the acronym, this is the largest unit. A kilometer, kilometer, however you want to say it, is going to be the largest unit of measurement for length in the metric system. And then as you move down, you are moving to smaller units of measurement. So a meter is smaller than a kilometer. A millimeter is smaller than a kilometer. A millimeter is smaller than a meter. So as you move down, you're moving from the largest unit of measurement to the smallest unit of measurement. Well, the metric system of measurement is a lot like the base 10 block system, okay? So if you think back to the beginning of the year when we did powers of 10, when we multiplied by sets of tens, hundreds, and thousands, and divided and all that kind of stuff, you're going to use those concepts in this standard while you're working through. So what I mean by that is if you have 1 kilometer and you want to figure out how many hectometers that is, or hectometers, however you want to say it, then you are going to multiply by 10, okay? So that means 1 kilometer is equivalent to 10 hectometers or hectometers, okay? And then as you move down, you're going to keep multiplying by 10. Every time you move to a different unit, you're going to multiply by 10. So if I have 1 kilometer and I want to figure out how many, let's say how many meters that is, then I am going to multiply by 10, 100, 1,000. Do you see that? 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 10, 100, 1,000. So that's going to be equivalent to 1,000 meters. Okay? 1,000 meters. All right. So as we are going to focus on our conversions today, you're going to need scrap paper, so go ahead and get that. So our first conversion is here. Okay, so we're going to have to use this to help us. So if we have 5 kilometers, how many meters is that? So what we're going to do is remember this friend right here? We're moving from a larger unit, kilometers, to a smaller unit, meters. So we're going to multiply, okay? So we have 5 kilometers, and we're going to multiply by something to equal our meters. This should look very similar to what we did last week, all right? So if we have 5 kilometers, then we got to figure out, well, what are we multiplying by, okay? Well, we're at kilometers and we're moving to meters. Do you see that? We're at kilometers right here, and we're moving to meters. So we're going to multiply by 10, 100, 1,000. 5 times 1,000 equals 5,000 meters. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Everybody understand that? Okay, here's our next one. Okay, so I am going to rewrite my acronym. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And I'm going to remind myself that this is a meter. Okay, so whenever you don't have this acronym on your paper, I encourage my students to write it down for every problem they solve, so you can actually move your pencil along the line to help you convert these measurements. Okay, so we are starting at meters and we're moving to decimeters, right? Because DM, decimeter. So I have 10 meters. I'm going to multiply by something to equal my decimeters. 10 meters times, well, when I'm moving from this unit and I'm only moving once, so I'm going to multiply by 10. So 10 meters times 10 is going to equal 100 decimeters. Do you see that? Okay, do you see how sort of simple this is? Because you know you have the base 10 background information. All right. So here are our next set of problems, okay? All right, so our next one is this. If you have, so I'm going to write my acronym. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk, and my unit is meters, okay? So I have kilometers. I'm at kilometers, so 100 kilometers times what is going to equal my centimeters? Well, this is why I have you draw this, because I can't do this in my head and you shouldn't be able to either. So I'm going to jump. Remember, it's 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. 100,000 is what I'm going to multiply by. Okay, that's what I'm going to multiply by. We're going to get into some huge numbers. But if you remember your powers of 10, this should be easy to do. All right, so all you're going to do is multiply 100 times 100,000. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then you count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 10 million centimeters. So 100 kilometers is equivalent to 10 million centimeters. Do you see how we did that? Okay, do you see how we did that? All right, what if we have my handwriting is not very good. So what if we have now 10 decimeters was equivalent to how many millimeters? King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And this is meters, remember? All right, so if I am converting this, I am going to take 10 decimeters and I'm going to multiply it by something to equal my millimeters. All right, so 10 decimeters times, here I am, this is deci, this is deca. Okay, remember the abbreviation for deci is dm, so that's how I know it's this one. The abbreviation for deca is DAM, so I know it's a decimeter. And I am moving to millimeters. So I am going to multiply by 10, 100. 10 times 100 is 1,000 millimeters. Do you see that? Okay, you guys should be picking this up right now. Well, what if I have 35 kilometers and I want to know how many meters that is. Well, let's see what we have to do. What's the first step we do? Write down our acronym. King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. And we are working with meters today. So we have 35 kilometers. We know we're going to multiply because we're moving from a larger unit to a smaller unit. We don't know what we're going to multiply by, but we know we're going to end up with meters, okay? Because that's our abbreviation, meter. See how important the abbreviations are now? All right, so we're going to move times 10 times 100 times 1,000. This is our meter right here. So 35 kilometers times 1,000 equals, well, what's 35 times 1,000? 35,000 meters. Okay, are we getting this? Okay, here's our last one. I want you to sort of do it by yourself. First step, what do you do first? Write down your acronym. What's your operation? Multiplication. We're going to multiply it by something to equal your centimeters. Okay, now use your chart here, your metric chart, that's what I call it, a metric chart, to figure out, well, how many times are you going to have to jump from meters to centimeters? Here's your meters because it's your unit. This is centimeters. So 10, 100. Well, what's 28 times 100? 2,800 centimeters. So today in MobyMax, you are going to be completing an activity to review your metric terms, okay? So that's the activity you should choose first, is metric terms. And then you're going to be doing an activity where you are converting measurements like we did here today, okay? All right, if you have any questions, please let us know, and good luck.